G'day, omdevaji, Sheshnag Mandir. What on earth is Kundalini? You can subscribe there to the YouTube channel that you're watching now. This video is about updates to the CPU. When I say CPU, I've done a video called the Linga Sharira is the CPU. So the subtle body, as I understand it, is the CPU that it has the programs and patterns in it that I run subconsciously or consciously. So around that, I've realised that the fastest way to get updates is through pain. It's weird. And I've also done a video on the 90-10 fiasco where 10% of our life might be painful, 90%'s awesome, but we focus 90% on the 10% that's painful and 10% on the awesome. Because we have an attraction to pain. Also have a subconscious desire to rerun familiarity. And I realised a while ago that the familiarity for me was the energetic dynamic of what I ran before the age of 7 and the energetic exposure or experience that I saw as love, which became familiar for me as a person. So in that familiarity, I was scared to express my feelings because I didn't feel safe. Couldn't be vulnerable, had to protect myself in many ways. Had to talk, had to do things, because sitting still was painful. Exposing my vulnerability was painful. So then I developed protection mechanisms to stay familiar in a non-feeling sort of way. So then after a broken relationship or 3, then I went into trying to understand the pain, find the origin of it, and the key to it was allowing the pain to be there and accepting it, rather than having a war with it and trying to cleanse it, simply just saying it's okay to be there. So the familiarity of the pattern that I was running is paramount. And to change the familiarity, there's 2 ways to change it mainly. One is through conscious hard work and repetition and reinforcement. That's by doing daily practice. The other way is subconsciously repeat cycles until they're too painful to want to repeat anymore, and then find a way out of the pain. But as a soft sensitive person with a big open heart, then there's an experience where I attract every experience into my life, and the familiarity of that was through me disrespecting myself and having poor boundaries. Then I found that other people are free to disrespect me. As I've grown out of that pattern, then I've created a lot more opportunities where I'm respected. But it's mainly come from internalized self-respect, stronger boundaries, and me stepping into an energy in my body that is well armoured and steady in a poise, where the energy I attract and experience is way more different. So in the stillness of everyday life, wherever you find stillness, wherever you can tap into the thoughts or the space between the thoughts, then there's an opportunity to intuit what your familiarity is. There's also bombardment through hypnotism and reinforcement by things such as media to make us think in a certain way. In the Western culture, it's very prevalent, very relevant, and very detrimental to the holistic understanding of the human psyche. In that, how do we participate in a culture that wants to condition us into a fear-based psyche that sees us as separate from everyone else and endorses consumerism and consumption to overcome the pain that's deep-seated in our psyche, to supplement some sort of sense of self, to be able to replenish or fulfill our lack of self-esteem and low self-worth through consumption and buying stuff that we don't really need. So that's a familiarity that's encouraged in the Western culture. How do we remain conscious and make healthy choices in that? That's a question for you to answer, if it's possible to become aware of your own subconscious patterns. Anyway, there's a video on familiarity, understanding the repetition of cycles and patterns within our own psyche, and working out the best opportunities through mainly pain, but also through conscious awareness and conscious development, reinforcement with healthy examples of expression, to be able to pull us out of it and direct us in a life that's more harmonious with where we want to be and where we want to go, who we want to be, how we want to show up. There you go. Did I cover everything? Pretty much. Om Namah Shivaya, Sheshnag.com, Hara Hara Mahadev. Share the world. Peace.